Why the fuck are you here, yaar? Why did you come to latent? कहाँ latent? वाह पर यहाँ कैमरा आप पे है.
I know that in the last couple of years, Alia Bhatt's entire reputation has gone down the drain. What was once perceived as bubbly and affectionate is now labeled as controlled and manipulative. It's honestly staggering just how fast the tide can change when it comes to media coverage in today's climate. And I guess there's no better example of that than Alia Bhatt, somebody who rose to prominence with one of the most enviable head start imaginable. For years, she was the industry's golden child. Critics loved her, audiences loved her, filmmakers wanted to work with her, and every performance seemed to further cement the idea that she wasn't just another star kid riding on privilege. She was the exception, the talented one, the one who had actually earned her place. But somewhere along the way, that narrative has shifted. And that's the funny thing about public perception. It really changes overnight, even when it looks like that it does. Usually, it's a slow accumulation of moments, interviews, headlines, social media clips, and controversies that eventually snowball into something much bigger. One day you're the internet's favorite celebrity, and the next you're being dissected in quote tweets by people who used to defend you. So, what exactly went wrong? How did somebody who spent years being viewed as charming, relatable, and refreshingly self aware suddenly become one of the most polarizing figures in Bollywood? To think that the word most associated with her now would be talented, gifted, maybe even exceptional. But turns out the word most associated with someone like Bhatt is actually privileged, opportunistic, and maybe even advantaged. But seeing her body of work, it always propels me to think about how a woman who has accomplished so much beyond her years and experiences can still be called overhyped or overrated. How does someone accomplish so much in their career and still never be given that approval from the audience? So, in this video, let's look into the career of Bhatt and actually answer the question, is Alia actually a good and talented actor or just overrated? Alia Bhatt started her career with the 2012 Karan Johar High School Drama Student of the Year opposite Varun Dhawan and Siddharth Malhotra. And Student of the Year is not an exceptional or maybe even extraordinary film. It was a glossy, over-the-top, extravagant version of what an actual high school experience really is. And to be fairly honest, Alia wasn't exceptional either. She was just sort of there, serving no real sense of motive to the story or the character she played. It wouldn't even be wrong to say that the character was almost one tone. She mostly stuck to her same beats of the character, not really figuring out the complexities of the woman she was playing. Shania was sort of a mystery at the start of the film, and sadly she stayed that way towards the end. After her debut came, in my opinion, one of her best works till date, Imtiaz Ali's road trip drama Highway, which saw Alia Bhatt playing a young, naive girl with no idea of the real world or herself, going on this unforgettable journey with a man she barely knows, but along this arduous journey of self-discovery or maybe even self-loathing, actually stopping to really question what she wants from life and for herself. Highway, in my opinion, is some of the best work from a Hindi film actress in the last decade or so. It's so subtly exquisite, never reaching that level of shrewdness or irritation, but always being subtly complex and emotionally raw. It's almost impossible to imagine a 20-something-year-old pulling such a character off. Udta Punjab, directed by Abhishek Banerjee, is a complex tale of love and loss set against the backdrop of a drug-ridden Punjab. And if there was one character I was always so fascinated by in the film, it was Kumari Pinky, played by Bhatt. Pinky is this naive, small-town girl who has no clue about how the world operates around her, but a small stupid mistake changes the course of her life. If the journey before this was hard, it just gets harder and more tedious from now. There is such nuance and complexity we see in Pinky in the film. In the first half, she's almost clueless about the world and the people around her, but her curiosity lands her in hot water and subsequently changes the course of her life as she would know it. And in the second half, she's almost like a wounded animal who has been torn and tortured. She has been through the depths of hell, and this time she has nothing to lose. The sheer command someone like Alia has over this character is something marvelous to look at, never losing the touch that we first saw in Pinky, but simultaneously never letting go of the newfound rebelliousness. Pinky may be wounded, but she hasn't lost the battle yet. There are always things that are very close to us, some things that just take precedence over everything else. But how far do we go to protect those things? Let's ask the question, how far does a young, naive college student go to prove her alliance and devotion to her motherland? Alia plays Sehmat in Meghna Gulzar's Raazi, an innocent college student whose life gets turned upside down when she is sent as a spy to the neighboring country to extract possible information. There is almost a haunting truth to the entire idea of proving this devotion to your home, a disturbing honesty that creeps in. How far does one go to protect his or her home? That haunting truth follows Sehmat until the end of Raazi. There is a dialogue in the film where Sehmat's mentor tells her, "जब भी तुम्हें लगे तुम्हारा पर्दाफाश होने वाला है, समझो हो चुका है." The urgency and the weight follow Sehmat throughout the story. Alia plays the character with such gravity and keeps the character always on her toes, always being careful, always being watchful. And when a secret comes out, it's almost heartbreaking to see how much she has lost on the way since and how much she is about to. It's haunting, yet it's so powerful. In Abhishek Varman's 2019 debacle Kalank, Alia plays Roop, a clueless woman who's torn between her devotion and desires, between love and lust, between commitment and attachment. This is a woman who has never had a real connection with anybody in her life, but one strange attraction to somebody forbidden changes the course of her life. Roop is torn between love and devotion, and the end is almost tough to watch. Although Kalank never really lived up to its full potential, Roop and her journey was always about her choices and the result of those choices. She was a woman who fought her fate, but whether she won or whether she lost, I think that's still up for debate. Alia is exuberant as Roop. You feel the sense of being stuck that comes from never realizing for what you want from life, the sense of grief of what you could have been, the sense of rebelliousness that comes with a new love, but simultaneously the sense of duty and responsibility as she has finally taken on, and finally the sense of tragedy that you could almost tell was always going to be her fate. In Zoya Akhtar's critically acclaimed 2019 film Gully Boy, Alia plays Safina, a headstrong, unapologetic woman who knows what she wants but isn't very keen about where to draw the line. This is a woman who will smash a bottle on someone's head but is still afraid to admit to her feelings in front of her parents. Safina is complex, but her complexity lies in her fears and insecurities, always thinking she isn't good enough but assuring herself that she is. The relationship she shares with Murad is tumultuous because she cannot figure out what she wants, stability or fragility, fight or flight. There is almost a sense of pride we see in her during the closing shot of the film. She is happy for Murad as he finally follows his dreams, and a little for herself too, because maybe in a way she's finally free too. Bhatt plays Safina with equal parts complex and human. She's still just a naive little girl who might and hopefully just looking for approval from those she loves. Look, I'll say it as it is so. There are always going to be debate about how Alia Bhatt is an overhyped or overrated actor, which will have nothing to do with what she brings to the table. The privilege will always take the center stage, her body of work will always be put in the backseat, her advantages over the others will always come first. But when everything is said and done and all the dust settles, when you ask the question, is Alia Bhatt actually talented or just overhyped? The answer is just a closer look at her filmography. You may agree with me or you may not, but whenever she'll be hailed as an exceptional actor, there will always be evidence for that. She's not the greatest Indian cinema has ever seen, maybe not yet, but whenever her capabilities will be put to question, her body of work will always be there to support her cause. And that's it for the video, everyone. Thank you for watching. Do chime in with what you thought about the video. Do you think Alia Bhatt is an actual talented star or just an overrated actor? Also, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribing to the channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.